Victim, Jason McCullough, aged 19, a shy, hard-working teen. He worked at a gas station, shoveled driveways for seniors, volunteered at the Boys and Girls Club, and was saving for university. Date and location: on August 28, 1999, around 2:30 a.m., his body was discovered on a paved shortcut pathway between 100 and 104 Pinecrest Drive, Dartmouth, where he'd been walking home after visiting friends. Circumstances: he was shot in the back of the head, a conclusion police attributed to homicide. Reddit: authorities believe the attack was random. Jason wasn't involved in criminal activities and had no known enemies. Witnesses: investigators suspect there were witnesses present, emphasizing that even minor recollections could prove pivotal. Active cold case: over the years, 10, 17, 20, 22, and even 25 years later, the Integrated Criminal Investigation Division has continually urged tips from anyone with memories of that night. Financial incentives: 1999 onward, the Nova Scotia Department of Justice's program offered up to $150,000 CAD for tips leading to arrest and conviction. June 2001, Halifax's Board of Police Commissioners added a $25,000 reward. Walks Against Violence: each year, hundreds gather in Dartmouth's Walk Against Violence to honor Jason's memory and call for justice. Scholarships and bracelets: community groups like the Boys and Girls Club created a scholarship and sold bracelets in his name. Global news: park dedication: the shortcut pathway was transformed into a park named in his memory. From Reddit discussions and local commentary: he was a good kid, he wasn't the kind of person that would harm a fly. Police believe this act was random, but I could see how they might have mistaken him for someone else. Mistaken identity in a drug or gang-related incident. Pinecrest Drive had activity tied to such groups that night. Individuals involved in a nearby home invasion earlier in the evening were considered possible suspects. Witness retaliation: some suggest Jason may have unintentionally become a witness and was killed to eliminate him. Despite these leads, none have been substantiated with sufficient evidence. Tina Michelle Fontaine, b. January 1, 1999, was a 15-year-old First Nations girl from Sagkeeng Anishinaabe Nation, Manitoba. In childhood she experienced instability due to involvement with Child and Family Services, CFS, moving between guardians and foster care multiple times. Wikipedia: at age 5, she was placed with her great-aunt and uncle, Thelma and Joseph Favell, where she lived for nearly a decade. At age 12, after her father's violent death, Tina's behavior and mental health declined, with school absences, self-harm, fights, and missing on several occasions. CFS records suggest these red flags went unaddressed. Late July 2014, Tina traveled to Winnipeg to visit her biological mother and was placed under CFS care, staying in a downtown hotel. Wikipedia: she was reported missing on July 31 and again on August 9, after last being seen around August 8. On August 17, her body was discovered in the Red River, Winnipeg, wrapped in plastic and a duvet, weighted down by rocks. Police estimate she died around August 10. Initial identification included Tina's angel wings tattoo and forensic confirmation. Raymond Cormier, 53, was arrested in December 2015 and charged with second-degree murder. The trial began January 29, 2018. The Crown relied on audio-recorded statements, Project Stick Sting, and circumstantial witnesses such as Terrell Morrison, who had seen her with Cormier. No physical evidence, no DNA, forensic link, or eyewitness testimony tied Cormier conclusively to the death. The pathologist couldn't determine cause of death. On February 22, 2018, the jury acquitted Cormier of second-degree murder. Helene Monist, aged 18, celebrated her birthday on September 10, 1977, at Chez Marius Pizzeria in Chamberlain. After the celebration, she and her friend Christiane walked to a nearby motel, Motel Morne Repose. Around 11:15 p.m., they parted ways on Rue Bourgardni. This was the last confirmed moment anyone saw Helene alive. On the morning of September 11, a passerby discovered Ellen's body in Parc des Ateliers, near the Chamberlain Canal, just behind 224 Rue Maurice, about 75 feet from Rue Bourgardni. She was found nude except for a pulled-up shirt, lying on her back. Nearby were her folded clothes, a Timex watch, a necklace, an earring, a plastic cup, a pack of Exporté cigarettes, and a box of chiclets. Her purse and possibly shoelaces were missing. An autopsy by Dr. Jean Hold, Parthenay, Montreal, ruled death by strangulation, likely using her shoelaces. There were no signs of sexual assault, though there were bite marks on her breasts and other bruises, indicating a sex-related motive. Investigators noted it was the first pure ligature strangling since another Quebec case in March 1977. Initial responders: Chambly Municipal Police, Richard Sauvé, René Richard, Jean Peffan, Robert Rousseau, then Chief Marcelin Cyr. Square officers Jacques Marceau, Maurice Miaus, and Claude Rainville joined along with Gaston Rioux from Montreal Square, who had experience in similar cases. In September 2015, the SQ reopened the case by setting up a mobile command post in the park, and today a modest reward, $2,000, remains available for credible information. Who killed Teresa? Paul Bernardo and Carla Homolka were a Canadian couple responsible for the rape and murder of 3 young women between 1990 and 1992, including Carla's own sister, Tammy Homolka. Bernardo was also known as the Scarborough Rapist, having assaulted numerous women before escalating to murder. The couple videotaped their brutal crimes, which included the abduction, rape, and killing of Leslie Mahaffey and Kristen French. Carla struck a plea deal, claiming she was a coerced victim, and received a 12-year sentence for manslaughter. After video evidence revealed her full involvement, the deal was widely condemned as the deal with the devil. Bernardo was convicted in 1995 of first-degree murder and declared a dangerous offender, ensuring he will likely never be released from prison. Sir Harry Oakes, 1874–1943, was a Canadian-British gold magnate who amassed great wealth from Ontario's Lake Shore mine before relocating to the Bahamas in the 1930s for tax reasons. On July 8, 1943, he was found brutally murdered at his Nassau estate, bludgeoned to death, likely with a miner's pick, his body doused with insecticide and set on fire, with feathers scattered around. His son-in-law, Alfred de Marigny, became the prime suspect after his fingerprint was discovered at the scene. He was arrested and tried but acquitted, amid accusations the evidence was fabricated. He was then deported from the Bahamas on the recommendation of the jury. Despite extensive investigation by American detectives brought in by the Duke of Windsor, then governor, the crime remains unsolved. Theories range from financial motives and mafia involvement to cover-ups by influential locals. Barry Sherman, 75, and his wife Honey Sherman, 70, Canadian billionaires and founders of Apotex, were found dead on December 15, 2017, at their Toronto mansion by a real estate agent. Both had died from ligature neck compression, strangulation, and were found by an indoor pool, seated semi-upright with belts looped around their necks and attached to a railing. Initially, police considered murder-suicide, but reversed course 6 weeks later, declaring it a premeditated double homicide. No forced entry was found, but a basement window was open and a door unlocked. Police and the family hired private team uncovered signs of wrist bindings, staging of bodies, and multiple assailants. CCTV footage released in 2021 shows a mysterious man with an unusual gait near the property circa the time of the murders. You're urged to recognize the walk. Video analysis and cell tower data placed the investigation potentially international, with authorities seeking phone records abroad. Barry, a litigious and controversial figure in pharma, had enemies, from business rivals over generics to disgruntled family members and ex-employees. Family dynamics revealed tensions. Barry's cousins had sued over inheritance, and his son purportedly owed Barry tens of millions. Allegations surfaced that the son was under pressure or even complicit. Honey's strong advocacy for Jewish causes sparked speculation of a potential hate-motivated crime. Wikipedia. One theory suggests international involvement with assistance from inside the house via a lockbox and keys. The son, their 4 children initially offered a $10 million reward, later increased to $35 million by son Jonathan in December 2022. The family hired lawyer Brian Greenspan, retained private ex-police investigators, and commissioned a second autopsy, uncovering evidence of staging and binding. As of 2025, no arrests have been made and the case remains unsolved, though classified as active. Police have reviewed over 250 witnesses and 1,255 tips, executed 41 warrants, and analyzed countless records, yet a single detective now handles the case. BBC. Major criticisms include investigative missteps, delayed homicide classification, failure to seek alibis from family, missing airport footage, and overlooking CCTV until years later.